How's it going, guys? You are back to the first North American qualifier in the Alienware Awesome Cup 2. We just want to give you guys a quick shout out from our sponsors, Ronimo Games, Alienware. Gotta love it. Alienware, who has donated 6 Alienware Alphas to this tournament. So that means first place, you're not going to get 1, you're not going to get 2, you're getting 3 Alienware Alphas. Second place, you're also getting 3 Alienware Alphas. On top of cash, first place is going to be $1,800 in cash, second place is going to be $900, third place, $900, and excuse me, I made an error last weekend. I said 4th through 8th was getting cash. I'm sorry. 4th place is going to get $450 in cash. You're also going to be getting a bunch of Steam items for 1st through 4th. That being said, we are powered by Gosu Gamers, and a huge shout out to ES Champ for being our sponsors for this tournament. Nada, I think we have something special to do at this point in time. What are we doing?
Oh well, since summer is coming and it's gonna get hot, and you know everyone likes ice cream, right? So you know,
gelati. We have to be politically correct here.
Oh yeah. All right, but what's better than gelati? Robo gelati.
Robo gelati.
So,
how many scoops of gelati would you say?
Oh, I don't know. But I do know that if you want one, you can go to Twitter and tweet out #AwesomeCup. Doesn't have to be at anyone. Just let people know that you're watching the stream and you're ready to win this, and then you'll be in the draw for a Robo Scoop skin.
Right. You know what also comes with summer? Lemonade and lemonade stands. Which brings us to our next match, actually. Wow, what a segue. Who would have thought that would have happened? The E-Lemon-Ators versus the Krauts coming up. Take us through the drafts real quick. Let us know what's going on, Nada.
Alright, well, we have picks, and picks indeed. So, we have a Frog, Scoop, Penny fighting a Clunk, Vinny, and Genji. So, right up here, I'm seeing Clunk and Genji.
That's like... that's scary. That's something that nobody ever wants to be caught in. You see that cocoon coming no matter where you are. You know that Clunk's going to be coming back after. It's just bait. Great bait, mate. Rate 8 out of 8. Clunk is going to be coming in there. He's coming in hot with an explode. Top on that, a Vinny. A 700 dash when he's maxed out alone on dash, which can go up to a 980 if I'm correct.
Something in the nines there.
It's in the 900s if he gets the double dash, but on the other hand, Scoop, Penny, Frog.
Oh, we have a lot of damage potential. I'm seeing again Scoop, and I want to see Scoop as a poke again, because Clunk is not going to be worth much when he's low on HP.
Definitely. So, you also have that Penny in there. That Penny and a Frog, 2 dash characters, as compared to the 1 that the Krauts have. Now, this is going to be a very interesting match, and I really want to see exactly what's going to be going on in here. So, without further ado, give us the countdown, and let's get straight into it.
You got it, boss. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we are coming back here on Agion, lovely map with the Invis. Just the purple color makes me happy.
That nice little purple orb that Nibs has as an upgrade, but it doesn't turn her invisible.
Oh, yeah.
The orb of Omicron, as we call it.
Oh, yes. But that's not the orb that's relevant right now. Here, we're talking about the Invis. The best kind of Invis. Alright, so it's Frog. Look at Frog.
He's already there, and we see it right there. The Clunk into the Genji. The Genji into the Clunk. Vice versa. What is this Frog doing? That Frog's getting very close right now, and that Frog might be going down if that Genji can pick him up. They're playing very smart.
All that was a great bait made.
Exactly. Great coverage coming out from the E-Lemon-Ators, covering the lemonade stand.
Well, you know what? I just want to give a huge shout out for that name, because that is probably the best name I've heard all season.
That's the best play on words that I've heard so far. I'll give it to you guys. You guys won. How much solar do they charge per glass of lemonade, though?
I don't know, but they're definitely invited to the BBQ.
How can we incorporate HDTV into this? Are they watching HDTV?
No, they're not invited. They're inside watching TV.
Ah, okay. But just getting into the brunt of things now, looking at these early game builds, most mostly everybody getting the base abilities besides the Clunk, who's going to piggy bank into Boots, which is always a viable option. Clunk is one of those more slower characters, but he's facing a very fast team of characters at this point, and I don't even think Boots will help you against that.
We're going to have to look at some snare here.
Definitely, you know, this Vinny, I think that Vinny should be going into Solar Cloud and kind of building for that late game kind of mentality where he can get that silence, drop it right on there, and we see it right now. This Clunk may be looking for an explode, but unfortunately nothing's going to come of it.
You know, I want to point out though, I actually think we're seeing a lot of fractured combat here. There's not much structure over it. Everyone is just sort of fighting everywhere, and I actually think that that is going to be something that the Lemon-Ators can actually use, because what the Krauts over here have is a comp that works very well if everyone does their executed part. But whereas the Lemon-Ators sort of can roam around a bit more freely and don't have to rely on one setup.
Exactly. This is the time that Clunk should be going after that explode and landing it on the frog, going to be forcing the Blue Skidoo back. I just realized the name, Blue Skidoo. They're very cheeky, these guys.
You know what? I approve. The whole naming is just top-notch play.
You know, we're actually seeing regen coming out on Frog early. I think that's a good idea. Apparently not a very good idea since he just went down to that Clunk. But
well, I'd say that rather Clunk being a bad idea than regen being a bad idea. But oh well.
Well, Clunk is he's the Minecraft Clunk at this point, so there's just going to be explosions anywhere. Genji's going to be picking up Invis again. Again, a reminder to those people who don't really know too much about Augyon and Invis. Invis spawns every minute. So if your team can time that, you can base your pushes around the Invis or push for that on the minute marker and try and set something up as far as kills go. Maybe a nice little push, get that going.
Oh yeah, I mean that is so important, and I think, oh look at...
And the Penny with the pickup on that's going to be a lot of damage. Penny looked like she was reconnecting there for a second, but manages to escape eating an explode and a dash and not taking any damage whatsoever.
I'm like expecting her to just randomly collapse any second.
You're just going to see the health bar go down to half a bar.
Oh well, nothing is set in this magic world of internets anyway. Who knows, that probably just was a one-time occurrence. So, as you mentioned, Vinny is actually picking up the Solar Cloud, which is something I feel like works really well with Genji.
Definitely does. It definitely works well when your turret's being pushed as well, because they don't realize it, but they're giving you force. And a nice little engagement coming out here, and wow, all team members know, excuse me, the Lemon is going to pick up one Genji. The Lemon has
consumed the Genji.
Sour kind of, you know what, I'm going on a roll with this. I lost it. I'll just drop it before I make any fool out of myself.
Oh, well. No comment.
Have I already made a fool out of myself? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I am your friend, and I am being polite.
But, as I said before, people don't realize that even during a push, you're giving a Vinny 4 solar every second, and I believe that it's 3 or 4 seconds that you're getting solar on it from. So you're basically giving him 16 solar for every 2 droids and 2 people in it at the turret.
Oh yeah.
Saying.
Right. Oh, Frog actually managed to pick up the Invis there. Blue Skidoo.
Oh, and it looks like Vinny's going to be a little bit of a bad position right now, and that Frog going in for... Uh-oh. This may be a frog down. That is going to be a frog down. I repeat, that is a frog down.
Oh wow! As we pointed out, the cocoon and to explode, it's gonna get ugly, especially when Dash is down.
You see that Scoop trying to get in the midst of all of it, but nobody on the crowd seems to mind him. They're like, yeah, go ahead. You can retreat to your turret. We'll let you do it. Penny may be in a little bit of a bad situation right now, but one thing that I definitely want to see out of this Clunk is Snare Bite. Snare Bite after the cocoon, get those secures down, because Frog, as we know,
and
can kind of base his cooldowns off of the explode and nullify any damage that he may take, even if he's in within his explode range. So it's definitely going to be something interesting to see if this Clunk will kind of pick up that snare to secure kills, as well as almost engage, I want to say.
Oh well, Clunk right now is building for the damage on explode, so he's definitely trusting his Genji to land the cocoons, because that is also going to be a lot of self-damage he's taking.
And Genji is actually going to go down on bottom. The lemons are going to take him out. I can't get over this team name. This is actually pretty good, I gotta say.
You know, like, that's the one side of competitive play we don't often cover.
And one thing that I want to point out is that the Clunk just teleported back. When you have a team member down, you want to stay on those lanes. You want to have 2 people on those lanes to kind of defend until that 3rd team member respawns and comes back. So, for those of you who are kind of getting into the competitive scene or want to improve on your competitive game a little bit, if you have a teammate down, you definitely want to have both teammates on the lane. So you don't want to leave a 1v3 situation where you're getting split pushed, because that's just going to be unnecessary damage on the turrets.
Mm-hmm. And as we've mentioned before, split pushing in early games in general shouldn't be happening. So even though you might have the upper hand, just focus one turret, really.
So if you could give a few early game tips for the new one. Oh, and it looks like Frog is actually going to go down to the Clunk Genji. But, Nat, if you could give a few early game tips to some of the newer teams and people getting involved with Awesome Mod's competitive play, what would you say would be the few most important points that you would give out to them?
So early game is very much focused on droid clearing, and when you get the kills, you usually don't get a lot of push. So trying to maximize your push from 1 kill is very, very important. 1 kill usually is not even enough to actually get a push in the early games. So you usually want to farm up, you want to get your things. If you're running a piggy team, you are allowed to be a bit more aggressive if you have built the appropriates for the pushes. But other than that, having a calm early game and actually waiting out to make sure that you can get the turret properly is probably a better idea than just rushing in and trying to play like you've got a kill late game. So really being able to differentiate what's what, it's really important.
You see that damage coming out on the Clunk again, taking down the scoop. You know, and one thing that I do have to commend the Krauts on is their map awareness at this point. They know where each other are, they know where the enemies are, they know how many droids are on the lane, and they are really, I believe they're timing the invis at this point, which is a very good thing to do on Onyan. And a lot of damage coming out, and Clunk just going with a little bit of an unnecessary explode to kind of thwart off the Eliminators.
So go ahead and eliminate them. Alright, well, oh, looks like wow. Well, enough about that. Looking at the builds here, Vinny building into that loads of damage right there. He does not currently have his goldfish tax, meaning that he will not be doing damage for the goldfish upgrade, which is a 150 damage extra to his dive when he has more than 150 solar in his pockets.
That is correct, but he only needs 10 more until he can pay that tax and do the extra 150 damage, so he'll be getting that very shortly.
Now that is something, that is actually something, when you're playing early Vinny, you either you don't get the upgrade or you actually keep your tax, because it is going to suck when you lose that triple kill because you don't have that extra 15 damage, because you had to pick up boots or something in the order of that. So while it is absolutely possible to get it, I recommend always keeping your tax.
And, you know, I just do want to point out, I do want to give this Clunk a +1 right now, because I do see that he did pick up the snare bite. So kudos to you, knowing what your team needs and when your team needs it.
That is true, and Genji actually picking up his speed up, getting out of the hood, 30% movement speed up for people who are blessed by the Genji. It's going to help Clunk immensely.
Absolutely, and we see the second stage of Screamer Engine coming out. Second stage of Snare Bite. That is a 1.2 second snare. Oh, that Penny and Frog is really going to underestimate that, and we saw it right there.
He actually hit Frog, and the only reason Frog got out was because of gravity. Gravity is the thing. Thank you, based gravity.
It looks like both of these lanes are actually going to be split pushed. Another situation again where both team members on the same team are teleporting back at the same time that kind of allowed a little bit of an unnecessary turret push. So always try and keep 2 people on the lane, unless it's a 3v1 situation and all of your team has died, at which point I would say you really, and the explode just barely missing there, but I would say you always want to have those 1 to 2 people on lane. Don't ever have a single person on lane, because like I said before, it's unnecessary turret damage you're going to take, and the other team's going to notice it and split push you.
It's actually, in some cases, you can abuse it by actually setting up a situation that looks like a lane switch, but actually it's a teleport back. However, I don't recommend trying that if you don't know what you're doing, because it's rather hard to actually off because people are smart, it seems.
Exactly, and you said, as far as setups go, when you're setting up for a lane change, one thing that you want to do is allow your teammates to... Oh, and a nice explode coming off, taking out Crayon on the Eliminators. But, as you said before, getting those setups down, if you can kind of trick your opponents into believing it's a lane change and get a teleport out of it, teleport out of sight. Don't teleport where your opponent can see you, because then they're going to notice the setup. They're going to see it and seize that opportunity to split push it again. So, as you said before, you know, we were going over little tips and tricks in the early game, and there we go again. That nice explode is going to allow the double kill, and that is going to be 2 members down.
I want to see Vinny tank. I want to see Vinny tank. And with the shield, I think that is a turret. That has to be a turret. That
is definitely going to be the first turret down in favor of the Krauts. The Eliminators have
Vinny here actually want to point out here. Vinny did something that usually is not well considered. He teleported back right after a turret push, with both players on, I think it was both Frog and Scoop was actually still dropping, and they had the option to actually push on bottom, but he went back instead. So please avoid just teleporting back as soon as you get a turret. You want to make sure you're all done with the push until you're actually... Right, we're done. We don't have an advantage anymore. Let's go back. That was a bit of a premature teleport back, actually, I mean, in my opinion.
Although they did take the turret, I have to agree with you in that aspect. If you take a turret down and you notice that you still have some time, seize that opportunity. You may be able to clear that lane, allow those droids to get a few pokes in on that second turret, but switch it up. Get into that bottom lane, definitely get a split push going, and get even more turret damage out of that single situation. Looks like that little Genji cocoon is going to prevent the Penny from actually proceeding any further there. But let's take a look at the builds at this point. We're seeing a lot of interesting things coming out, and the Clunk explode from mid is going to take out Crayon. But as I was saying before, let's take a look at these builds. So we look at this Vinny, and we see the Silence Cloud coming out now.
Yes.
Silence, huge advantage. If you can get a fight in that Silence Cloud, which is exactly what they're going for, the explosion coming up, but the Genji Cocoon saves the Frog, actually. He's still maybe going down. No, that is going to be a counter kill coming out in favor of the Eliminators.
Wow, that was probably a small case of miscommunication.
I think it was a little bit of a panic in my situation. From what I saw, you know, you see the Clunk going down, but you see the Frog also getting away. So I think the Genji thought, oh no, he's going to get away. You know, maybe if I do this, it'll secure the kill, allow that Vinny to come in. And Frog's actually taking a lot of damage now, but Penny there for the save. But it may have been a panic situation from my perspective.
Well, I would not say that's not a possibility. Anyway, jumping back into the builds. All right. Well, if you cocoon too often, then you might end up blocking your own damage on your team. Something that is very important when you play Genji. Make sure.
And there we go with the snare bite again. You know, I pointed out earlier that snare bite would be a very powerful tool in this, and it absolutely is.
Oh yes. Quite so. I mean, Silence Cloud is probably the best upgrade on Vinny that I can think of.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Frog with silence right there. Unfortunately, he does manage to escape the tremors that Clunk brings.
Grimsorg.
He changes the tectonic shift plates and just causes earthquakes and explosions everywhere.
Oh yes. And that is, look at the knockback on Penny, a very good defensive mechanism that's going to make sure that Clunk lands nothing.
That's only if she can get out of it, though.
Well, it still provides knockback even though you have no fly distance.
But back to the builds as we were trying to get to before these teams were so rude and decided to kill each other.
Yeah, speaking of, I don't ever think we're gonna get to the builds.
You know what? We'll save it for later. We'll go back to it. But, you know, we'll go over the most important parts of the build. Silence Cloud on Vinny. The Snare Bite on Clunk.
Silence
Pounce
Pulse.
back on Penny.
Silence Pulse.
And the Silence Pulse.
Yes, all the silence.
No, she doesn't have Silence Pulse yet, actually. Oh. No, you're right, she does. I got confused with the Salt Shakers for a second.
Oh, yeah. They are very similar looking, so I don't blame you for that.
And Clunk is going to go down. Blue Skidoo taking a lot of damage right now, just managing to barely avoid Vinny on the escape.
Blue Skidoo. Lovely. Please say that more often.
Playing for the E-Lemon-Ators.
Oh man. Alright, so Clunk opting up for multi-hose, looking to do damage to everyone. It's going to increase his lifesteal with the double, basically. If he can hit 2 targets, that's going to be double the lifesteal and double the snaring, because he can now snare 2 targets.
And we also see Rocketeer coming out on that Vinny, expanding the range and duration on that cloud. You can just see how big that cloud is up there right now. Just swallowing solar up from that massive amount of solar that he's going to be able to gain from those clouds as well.
You just don't want to be in it, basically. You don't want to fight in it, and that's a lot of area you don't want to fight in.
You know, I would definitely like to see some setups coming out.
Look at
and that
knockback.
snare duration. You can even see the snare duration putting in a lot of work, and this may be a kill on the Clunk if they can subdue him here. Looks like
he's gonna land the. Oh, he's not.
Get out!
He didn't even land the bite, and he still got out. I'm impressed.
You know, even in a situation like that, you have 1 HP. You should still be on that.
Yeah, he's celebrating.
Turret.
Oh man.
Because that's going to be 2 bars taken off by Scoop and that droid push alone. But this Genji seems to be hunting down Scoop.
One hammer though.
Going down. Nope. There we go again with the hammer saying, nope. Sorry, buddy. Not today.
One hammer. That's all it takes. This is the,
And another kill coming out. The explode on Clunk.
He's absolutely just devastating for Frog.
You know, looking at the kill to death count right now, Clunk is leading the pack with 10 kills.
And he is putting in a lot of muscle here.
Muscle is a little bit of an understatement. Landing the explode behind the turret, securing the kill again. We have entered the late game at this point in about 30 seconds, and the kill count is 13-6 in favor of the Krauts. Unfortunately, the lemonade stand was closed down in that situation.
Don't worry, a Grand Summer reopening is coming soon, I am sure.
To a theater near you.
Yes. I mean, in front of a theater, actually.
Oh, right. But just looking at the solar difference at this point, where the Krauts have just kind of taken off on their lead. The lowest member on the Krauts is Genji with around 1900 solar, compared to the highest member is about 1800, which is Penny. But highest member obviously being Clunk right now, rocking 2470. So it's almost
that is a good portion.
Solar difference.
That is a good portion of solar. You could buy a lot with that solar.
I'm pretty sure you bought a salvo pack.
Oh yeah.
With all that extra solar. And there we go again. We see that explode bite.
Yeah, that has been what's been doing. Oh, look at the silence.
And the silence cloud.
Clunk getting into position.
To cut him off right now. And that Genji should really be kind of pushing back in efforts to prevent him from escaping. But the Frog does manage to escape with about half health at this point. Penny's going to be in a little bit of a trouble, but mistiming and a little bit of a miscommunication on the Krauts allows her to escape.
Oh, well, I want to see Clunk pushing more. He's having too much fun with the kills, I think, and I think that might be dangerous because even though the kills are kind of very much indeed in favor of the Krauts, the push is still.
He's going to be in some deep trouble right now. You just said you wanted to see him push a little bit more. He pushed and got taken out.
I'm sorry. I said push, not die. I had no responsibility for this. Oh, look at
And
Genji.
is
Genji
just
being
so
really
white.
cheeky
Genji's
over here. Oh, I just want to see this one.
Dun, 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 dun. And Genji pulls off Mission Impossible.
He pulls off Mission Impossible. It was great, and the agent was never heard from again.
He's the German Mission Impossible agent.
Oh yes.
He was infiltrated the lemonade stand.
Yes, that is what happened. True story. 10 out of 10.
Let's take a look at these builds again, actually, because the secondary...
No, I don't think we're allowed to do that.
That's right, because every time we say that, they get into a team fight.
Yes.
As they are right now. And it looks like Frog is actually going to go down to the wrath of the Krauts.
Oh, wow.
And Hammer's going to allow Penny to escape unless Vinny meets her in the middle. Now, this is actually really interesting. We're seeing Vinny picking up the invis. I have a feeling he's just going to drop the solar. He should have dropped the cloud right there before he engaged on that Penny and then went for the dash.
Well, now she's back, and that's going to leave his teammates actually getting quite the damage on the turret. As you can see, it's at half HP already.
You know, one upgrade that I think would have been really powerful for Genji to get would be Moon Nectar.
Oh, yeah.
You have Clunk and Vinny going in for those chases right now, and Penny's actually pick up one. Penny's taking a lot of damage and is going to be forced to teleport back, not teleport, but escape back. But Moon Nectar would be a really great upgrade for this Genji to pick up right now.
Oh, I want to see the Lemon-Ators, E-Lemon-Ators. I have to be correct here. I want to see them progress. I want to see them move up now. This is their chance. With Clunk down, they have a great opportunity to actually get in and get some turret damage done. Absolutely,
and it looks like Penny's going to pick up the invis, steal it. Vinny getting some AA and health upgrades now, picking up Codfather and Sharky and Remora, increasing his range on the AA. Scoop's going to take a lot of damage. You saw that dash really coming out in full force, dealing a lot of damage.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's what Vinny does. Damage, damage, damage. And if you manage to shut him down, great. But damage. Did I mention damage?
No, I don't think you mentioned damage.
Oh, well, damage. A lot of damage. Alright, the push seems to be happening right now. I want to see Vinny actually pop the Silence Cloud, get ready. And, well, not there, Vinny. At the turret, so you can push.
One thing that I really like to see is... Actually, it's quite interesting that this Penny chose to get Starstorm over health at this point in the game.
I think she figured that, oh well, Clunk is going to kill me anyway. Yeah, I can see the
justification on it. Kind of saying to myself, you know what, if I get cooned, I'm dead anyway. So I might as well go for some damage, but I would have looked into picking up something else.
Yeah, I think I actually agree on you on that one. I think HP would have been more viable, especially because you can't really use your damage when you're dead.
So, for the Eliminators to kind of come back from this at this point, who do you think they need to focus on the Krauts?
Oh, well, get Vinny out of the way, and then Clunk is going to be easy peasy. You can poke down Clunk very easily when you don't have the Vinny up here to protect him.
Exactly. We see this Clunk now. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. He is actually going to go down, and, you know, we saw the displacement there. Displacing Vinny kind of allowed and secured that Clunk kill. They caught him out alone in the bottom, picking up the health.
Oh, look at that.
And it looks like it's going to be another kill for the Eliminators.
Lovely. Let's get them. Oh, get the push. Oh, is it going to be? Oh, well, they have their R base, so they can get the push in. And I want to see them clearing. I want to see everything happening. Go team, you can do this. Come on, Lemonade.
Lemonade stand needs to reopen.
You could say it was a lemonade standoff.
We'll be here all week.
Oh man. Oh wow.
But we see that second stage of Starstorm coming out and that push coming out, and it looks like the Frog may be able to get out without any consequences coming out on the Clunk side.
Well, on the Clunk side of things, that is... I mean, alright, Clunk actually, what about he picked up the shield while charging up Explode to actually deal with, because there's quite a lot of damage coming out of the Lemonade stand right now. I'm gonna keep it that. The Lemonade stand. The E-Lemon-Ators, but they're the Lemonade stand. Deep within, we all know that.
In our hearts, they'll always be
yes.
the Lemonade stand. Cue Enya music.
Yes. Alright, Vinny with the Invis. Oh wow. Actually, I think we're seeing quite the pickup in kills from the Lemonades.
And there we go with the snare bite on bottom, and you saw right there again. You just said the pickup on kills is kind of decreased, but it happened again.
Yeah.
The snare securing it.
Yeah, I think I should stop saying things. It happens like the opposite happens every time I want to look at builds. No kills. And every time, right? Well, let's look at we're getting back. Less kills happening. No kills.
You know, and one thing that I want to point out with the Clunk on bottom, a nice little pickup by Penny on there, but the Clunk did manage to take the turret. If you are running a Clunk salvo build and your droids are actually combating the other droids at the turret, go for the turret damage. You can clear those droids. You are doing more damage than the droids as a Clunk with salvo.
Oh yeah.
So do your turret damage, allow your droids to be taken out, then do the clear.
Yeah, you can. I mean, what usually happens when you push with Clunk is he does have the fragmental, so he can just focus one and it'll damage everything.
Oh wow, he does. He did get fragmented shells. That's an interesting upgrade. I haven't seen that in a while, actually.
It is really good for pushing. It is really good for pushing. It provides AoE for your AA attacks, no matter the size. So, it's gonna get dangerous if you get too close.
And
also really good for team fights.
The no scope 420 bites coming out on Clunk now with some extra health.
Yeah, but that's gonna be twice the pro scoping because he does have the multi hose.
It's gonna be twice the no scope. He's gonna be hitting an 840 no scope. That's an interesting rotation.
Oh yes. You know what? That's okay. We support Clunk wherever he's facing.
We support his multi hose. In Clunk we believe. In Clunk we trust.
Yes. Clunk Genji again. Just want to point out that that's so good. You have the shield from both Genji and his explode. He is gonna, with a blessing, he's not gonna be taking much damage when he's charging up that explode.
Definitely not. And we see here now the Vinny actually picking up a large amount of AA damage combined with Codfather and Sharky and Remora. He's doing, I believe, 80 per bubble. Or 8 for ye old, not players.
Ye old, oh ye. That is... I never get... Like, I had over 1,000 hours when that happened, and I'm not willing to accept it yet.
I don't know, I kind of like the new system.
I like it, but I'm not gonna say it. It's when I play, I have such a hard time. I correct myself every time.
And that's Silence Cloud is going to be dropped. A nice little engagement going on here. Clunk is going to land the explode on Frog, forcing him to go back. But the coverage again on the Lemonade stand, one could say that it's never unmanned.
Oh,
there's always going to be someone at the Lemonade stand.
Providing for your lemonade needs. I think it looks like they're just going for the base right now. Like, yeah, just moving forward.
They've kind of pushed up into that creep zone, and
it seems like Clunk just realized that, oh wow, their base is open. Let's kill their base. That looks like...
Oh, and that explode is actually going to land right before the cocoon hits. It's going to be a bite pickup, and this could potentially be a team wipe in both sides.
Vinny got it. Oh, look at the... Nope. And that is going to be...
I didn't even notice the sheer amount of droids that were attacking at that point.
That's gonna be game.
Unfortunately, the Lemonade stand was a little sour.
Yeah, well, they were selling it illegally, so...
Selling illegal lemonade, so the Krauts
not having a business permit, and then, you know, the Krauts just came in and shut him down.
Alright, we need to stop with these puns.
No,
it's
never.
Getting really bad.
Never.
But that is going to be a victory in favor of the Krauts. The Eliminators, unfortunately, have been, eliminated.
Oh, god damn it. I think we need a break.
We do need a break, but let's go over these builds because we can finally go over the builds because they've stopped killing each other.
Yes!
Nada,
Oh, man.
do the builds. Do them.
The builds, alright, I'll go on with the frog. Actually, at an early stage, realizing that, oh well, we don't have a lot of push, let's get Arbe. That was a good idea. I think that helped out a bit, getting the pokes in on the bottom turret there, as well as building up a lot of the dash damage. Overall, that's a fine build. Scoop going for the cooldown hammer as well as the bursty bindings, also a very good build. Penny's build being kind of weird with both the knockback and the distance you travel with the pounce, so sort of a defensive pounce, I suppose. Also, the pound, the pulse damage was very inconsistent, and the split out. But I guess it worked out, kind of. I haven't seen this build, to be honest, so...
It's a very intricate build, and I can understand that the Penny was trying to play defensively, but also have that potential to chase down, which is why I believe she got the increased pounce. Right. The knockback was used more defensively, but the distance traveled was used as the kind of hunt to hunt them down after. One thing that I do want to commend the Krauts on was their conformity to the Clunk and Genji. Clunk Genji, absolutely terrifying. Clunk, really smart idea to pick up the snare so early. I pointed that out early in the game, and he picked it up, and it was, from that point, the second they were cocooned, they had that follow-up with the snare. Definitely a great idea to pick up Salvo during that mid-game, especially when you have a decent solar advantage where your AA can be used as a push now. Clunk's push really isn't that great early game, but once he gets Salvo and those extra missiles and damage, he just becomes a push-ridden character.
Oh, yes.
Who has an insane amount of close CQC damage. Vinny, Silence Cloud, got the Solar Cloud early in game, got the Silence Cloud, Rocketeer, and then from there, it was basically they hit the cocoon, drop the Silence Cloud, so that anybody who's fighting in there is not going to be able to use any abilities, and Clunk just comes in with the Explode to finish him off. As far as solar differences go, I believe it is 2,800 was the highest, and that was Penny for the Eliminators compared to the 3,300. So 500-600 solar lead, not too crazy.
Still significant enough, I'd say.
Still significant, and it definitely showed that Salvo at the end there. Vinny picking up those late stages of AA, just for those kind of secures. But both teams played excellent. Really good to see this type of gameplay. And although it was a 30-minute match, you know, it was back and forth for quite some time there.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone either way, I'd say.
That being said, we do need to take a break, I believe.
Oh, yes.
So we will be right back with our last match of the day, which is Press 1 to Win versus Last Moment.